All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our special webinar today. We have Blake Everhart, who is our professional development expert. He is our director of professional development. He is one of the people who you may have seen go out to one of your campuses for training on site. But he is going to share some exciting updates for all of you as we go into the beginning of the new school year. So we know that there's a lot of work that goes into starting the new year. There's a lot of things to put into consideration as you're configuring your setups for all of your teachers. And so we wanted to give this opportunity to once again introduce you to some of the new features from ViewSonic that we have been adding to your ecosystems. And Blake is going to talk to you about those exciting updates and then also help answer some questions that you may have. But of course, if you do have any questions, we would like you to go ahead and direct that to the Q&A section. That's going to allow us to better track your answers so that we're able to make sure that each one of you gets an answer for your question. And as always, as we go through the presentation, you probably will have some questions, and we're going to do our best to get to every single one. However, if we get to a point and we're not able to address your question in this webinar, we are always happy to have a conversation afterwards through email. So with that being said, I would love to pass it over to Blake to get our webinar started.
Thanks, Haley, and welcome back, everyone. We know this is an exciting time of the year, also a stressful time of the year for most of us coming back to school. So whether you're a parent, a teacher, an admin, IT admin, a technical assistant, we're here to help. So we're hoping that you find this valuable. Again, as Haley said, please throw any questions you have in the chat. We're gonna have some resources available for you at the end of where to find content and answers to your questions, as well as a couple email addresses to help us reach out. So again, please let us know if there's something we did not touch on or if you have more questions as we go through here. We're going to have a team here that's going to be assisting going through our agenda items, obviously hitting our software and hardware, in the new things that we've rolled out, how, some best practices, some things to look as far as configuration and usage best practices. So we will dig deeper into those individually. Now, within our ViewSonic software suite, we've really expanded our opportunity as a teacher and IT admin to have a robust ecosystem that you can leverage. And we're going to dig into some components of each of these and dig deep into, some best practices, as well as, some nice features that we have received from teachers' feedback. So the first one is myViewBoard 3.0. This was a software release to our whiteboard software. Really what we're trying to do is differentiate our user experience in the classroom, right? How do we get students engaged? How do we get teachers leveraging the software in collaboration with resources they already have, right? So the last thing we're trying to do is force software onto teachers. What we really want to do is work side by side with content you already have created. So you can see in our new design process as we've moved from version 2 to 3 that, in the design, we have enhanced our participation mode, which allows students to get engaged. We've added some inclusivity tools. So if you have needs for, students that have visual impairment or speech impairment, we have some ability to assist in some of those classroom boundaries, so to speak. And then we also have just some features that were requested by teachers of something they thought were highly valuable to the classroom. So that's where version 3 is coming into play. The first and foremost, the number one thing you can see is that our icons have changed up a little bit. Almost all of the icons and features are still in version 3, but we've added a lot more, and it looks a little more clean. You also will get tech tips as you hover over icons, and I'll tell you what they are. And you can see kind of up here, we now have tabs. So teachers can open up multiple lessons at any given time, right? So you can have a math lesson or a language arts lesson or a period 1, period 2. You can open those up and walk through those throughout the day. So nice feedback from teachers doing that. As far as intuitive design, you can tell as you see the icons, most of them compared to the previous version, you can actually tell what they are. So you can see that the pen tool is the pen tool, and eraser is an eraser. You can see that the shape pen is in the form of shapes. The line pen is a line. So we've tried to simplify so there's not guessing in what icons mean, right? Also, just having those tech tips are going to be very important for teachers to use it. Also, you can see the long press there. Helps you eliminate unnecessary steps, and you can write on tools and fly without disrupting your workflow. A couple other things. We have participate mode where you can have backgrounds and add different things by student. For example, if you're going to work on math lessons, you can have different math lessons for each student. And they can be writing and working out problems as you work through your lesson throughout the day. And then our inclusivity tools, as you see here, are really helpful to help those students in need, or if teacher needs accommodations, this can be really beneficial, whether it's leveraging our speech to text, immersive reader, and live captioning, and then our spotlight and caller filters. Especially with our new panels that have microphones built in to them now, the immersive reader live captioning is a really great opportunity to leverage in the classroom for those students. Our customizable pen tools, and if you've gone hands-on, you've seen that there are lots of new features in the pen tools, and ability to customize your own pen tools, so to speak. And leveraging your AI pen tool has changed. So great functionality of being able to draw, and when you're drawing, Google AI will give recommendations of what they think you're drawing. And then you can either bring a drawing in, or you can run a Google search on those types of images that allows you to easily import into the whiteboard. So whether you're creating manipulatives or just using the simple pen tool, a lot of advancements there. Now, there are a couple things here that we definitely need to pay attention to. One is we can still import lots of different files like we have in the past. Google Slides, Google Docs, PDFs, PowerPoint. That's all great. We can still export as PDF to our cloud storage, and we can QR share still. Okay. Now, one thing that I feel like we definitely need to hit on is how we open files. This is something that's new. So before you would go into the magic box, but now you actually go to the folder. And in the folder, you have two options to get files in. One is open OLF. So if you open a file, you have to have an OLF file. The past few weeks, we've had some teachers that have reached out and they said, hey, I don't have any files when I go to open. Well, they are new users and they didn't have any OLF files. And OLF is essentially our myViewBoard file type, right? Just like PowerPoint is, has a file type of .pptx. Ours is .olf. And so if you have never created an OLF file, you wouldn't have any. So if you hit open and it's blank, it's probably because you meant to hit import files. So import files will allow you to import any file type. So that's where your Google Slides, your PowerPoint, your PDFs come into play. So make sure you go to folder, import files to be able to go through that. I do, if you're a trainer on here and you're training your teachers up in the district, we do find that to be one hiccup in the beginning, especially as teachers are moving from 2.0 to 3.0. So just kind of heads up on there. I would say there's a lot of resources that have been pushed in the community, and we'll go through that later. But all the how-tos, YouTube channel has been updated for 3.0. And there are a lot of resources that have been created and put in the community or in this chat, and you can download and leverage those in your district. So now, one thing that we've done this past summer, and we apologize if it's been a headache for some of you. In the end, I think it's going to be great for everyone. But what we have is we've converted from myViewBoard accounts to ViewSonic accounts. And honestly, you probably didn't notice any difference. However, there were a couple differences in the portal when you sign in, right? So you can see that we've moved the ViewSonic portal, so to speak, is where we do all our account creation. I'm going to walk through this in a demo in a second. And then we have our ViewSonic entity. So if you're just a teacher and you don't manage panels or set them up, you probably would never see this ViewSonic entity. That's only from the IT admin side, right? So if you're IT admin and you're managing users and you're syncing users, you'll see that it's changed a little bit, okay? And we're gonna have to get used to that. You'll also notice that the myViewBoard portal used to list all of our users, and we had all of these different categories on the left side that we could get into. We've transitioned to a ViewSonic portal to make it more clean. So what we've done is separate our IT admin, where you can determine if you are an IT admin, you can determine who you want to have access to what part of the portal. For example, you may have someone that's in your account creation, and they should have ability to create accounts in myViewBoard or in the ViewSonic portal via your Office 365 or via your Google workspace, and they can sync those users using the entity role. Now, what's got a little different, and we'll dig into that too, is that in Manager, for example, we now have roles that allow you to assign specific roles to those users, okay? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to stop sharing this. I'm going to go into kind of a live demo of how the accounts work, right? So come in and let me set this up real quick. And my screen's a mess, and I apologize. All right. So here we have our account dashboard. So when you go into myviewboard.com, we have our account dashboard. You can see it has icons very similar to the past, but there are a couple things you don't see. One is your account setup. So we have a couple options. One is we can come into our little avatar and we can manage our account, okay? In here, when we manage account, this is where you will be able to change your display name, for example, right? We can change our display name. You can see your subscriptions, any notifications that you would have, right? So this is only our account setup. Now, if I want to mess with settings in myViewBoard like we did in the past, what we'd have to do is come into myViewBoard and go to our myViewBoard settings, which will pop open another window. This is probably a little more familiar to you, where we have our preferences, our general settings, our pin colors, preferences. We also have our app and cloud integration. So you can see if a cloud is bound because it's blue, and then it also has the account there. So if you want to add an account, you simply click the link, and then you can use your SSO to bind that cloud drive. If you're new to ViewSonic and setting up entities, once you create a teacher account, the teachers do need to come in and bind their drive. However, in the account process, we've created some help videos to help guide them on how to do that. So, but if it ever were to disconnect, usually this is the spot we come to reconnect that cloud drive to make it robust. So when they sign into Whiteboard, all of their content and things are ready to roll. Now, I'm going to come back to our account creation, and this is going to be mainly a little bit for our IT admin. So teachers, you don't see ViewSonic Entity, you also don't see Manager, but our IT admin do, right? So in our IT admin, when we open up ViewSonic Entity, you can see that we don't get a list of all the users automatically. We can come in and manage domains, and then we can manage users. Now, in users, we've kind of moved where we can add a user manually. You also can bulk upload users, and then you can use your sync features right here. One feature that is on its way back in, which is currently not in here, is if a teacher was new and they went and signed up for an account today, and you didn't do a sync, what would happen is it'd be put in a queue, and back in the day, you'd come in and you'll be able to click around here and say, I want to add the domain related user to my entity, right? Because what it would do is recognize, hey, there's this user that is the same as your domain. You want to add them to your entity. And so the IT admin that are managing accounts can come in and say, yes, I want that teacher. So that's in the works. Not sure on an exact date yet, but we apologize that was actually skipped over, but we're gonna make that right and get it back to you as soon as we can. So managing all your users is part of the entity process. A couple things here. One is you can see that we have roles. So in the roles, you can identify if this user can have domain admin access or user admin access or subscription admin access. You also can give them access to manager. So if I want them to have access to manager, I need to be able to provide them access to that, which then takes me back to our IT admin where we get into manager in the dashboard itself. So in manager, it'll populate with all your devices, but the biggest key and new feature is being able to come into permissions. So under the settings wheel, we have permissions here. And we have a toggle. So we have a user toggle and we have a role toggle. So under users, once we have a user in here, or we can go search for a user as an example, you can find this user and you can identify what title they have. So once I hit the edit, I can assign them IT admin, or what I can do is I can add a custom field. So this is also a change that's going to be coming here in the next few days or weeks, is that this dash allows me to customize that role. So I can customize this role and add them to be able to manage or control whatever I want them to control. So the dash really means customized for right now, but we're going to make it say customized very, very shortly. So once you have all your roles attained, you go ahead and hit confirm, and then you're good to go. Now, if you have a large district and you have a lot of roles that you want to apply to, for example, maybe you want some, office managers or admin assistants to have roles where they can send digital signage. We can come in, we can add a role, we can name that role, and then you can select whatever it is that you want to give them access to, such as media management, or we want to be able to, let's see, file management, right? Or see usage reports. And if you hit the arrow down, you can see you get more detail about what each of these rules and permissions allow you to do. So you can create roles for the districts and then assign those employees or those teammates to those roles within there. So really that's the biggest thing that we've seen as far as changes go within manager. So right now, our between myViewBoard 3.0 and manager, I just want to take a second, check the chat and see if there's anything out there as far as questions that I need to answer. And Haley or Serena, if you've seen something, please feel free to jump in and ask me. Or just answer them yourself, Haley. Haley's the expert. Don't let her kid yourself. Good question, Linda. So IFPs, if you want to convert to Whiteboard 3.0, yes, you should be able to do that remotely if your panel accepts it. So myViewBoard 3.0 can go on any of your teacher devices as far as laptops and computers, and also would need to be on a 50-5 or newer panel. So if you have a 50-3, for example, a lot of times you can tell what your panels are either in Manager, it'll tell you the name or model number, or on the back side of the panel, it'll say, for example, 7550-3, which is our Gen 3. So on the Gen 3, you would not be able to get the update for 3.0. You'd have to leverage like a teacher laptop and plug it in or cast to use that software. But good question. Yeah, we do have instructions on that, and we also have a video on our YouTube channel. So our ViewSonic Education North America YouTube channel, all of our videos are created for you to be able to how to push that out. Whiteboard 3.0 available on Mac. Haley, can you answer that?
Yes, it's available on a Mac with an M1 chip or newer.
M1 chip or newer. Great. Thank you. All right. So let's see. Did I miss any questions? I'm sorry. I'm trying to set up my next thing here, talking about
And
AirSync. Everybody, go ahead.
yep, I just wanted to apologize. It looks like Q&A is enabled on our side, but it looks like some of our participants aren't able to access. So just give us patience in the chat to get to all of your questions, because it looks like there's a few coming in right now. But we'll take moments like this where Blake will address some of the ones that we don't get to.
Awesome. Thank you, Haley. Okay. Tara, we're probably about 5 minutes or less away from you showing in Teams, so I just want to prepare you for that. I only have a few more things left. And one of our new items that you've probably heard and gotten emails about is AirSync, right? So AirSync is our casting solution that we have brought in-house. So previously, we leveraged a partner for that to help build it, and we've decided that it's best to leverage the software in-house that's built for us, for our hardware, and for our software. So it is AirSync. Looks very similar to VCast if you're used to it. I will tell you this, if you are familiar with our old products of Display and VCast, essentially AirSync is all-in-one. So there is a way where you can have an app cast your screen and you get touchback on the screen using your teacher device. There is also a web portal that you can go to. You type in the display code and the password, and it allows you to cast your screen wirelessly. So you won't get touchback. That's really good for in a conference room or for students. But for teachers, you should probably use the app because you may want touchback if you're going to use that. So kind of best practice would not to be of students the app. I would not push the app to students. It does have Miracast and AirPlay built in if that's something of need for you. So you can do that. And then you can see that it does have moderator mode, a little checkbox that allow you to control which screens will come and go onto the screen versus every time it would ask for a passcode maybe. So this allows you to have students or to have speakers go into a queue, and then you can turn up to 6 of them on at any given time. ClassSwift is a newer software that we've started in development about a year ago, and it's all around student engagement and assessment. Okay, we have a team dedicated to specifically help you with ClassSwift. If this is of interest, we can just let you know. And as we go through here, just some samples of what it does. It leverages AI to take a quick snapshot of your content and push it directly to students' devices where they can respond and you can get feedback. There are a lot more features in here that I can touch on. The last thing I want to do is make this a sales pitch for you, but I'm telling you, if this is something of interest, we can get you help for it and have a call and a demo on it. But it does quizzes and all types of engagement pieces. That's kind of really cool. And we'll work with your ViewSonic accounts and with some of your single sign-on accounts as well. So you can see it does have a lot of flexibility, and you'll see this starting to display on some panels as new firmware is released. So just kind of make you aware of it and let you know this is people are loving this that are using it. So just a nice little note in there for them. If you need help, let us know. Okay, updates and firmware. Real quick, we know that we are having some updates and firmware that we push. We know it's not ideal, right? We know that for IT admin that are on here, you might be a little frustrated right now about us pushing this, and we apologize. I will tell you that the only reason we're doing it is try to make your life a little simpler. So we're trying to, make fixes to managers so you can do some things remotely better, more efficient, more effective. We're trying to fix our software to make it more feature-rich for teachers. And I'll tell you this, Haley is on the forefront of managing this, and so she's on calls all the time, all day and night, with customers like yourselves, as well as our development team, to push our needs to them. So we thank Haley for that. But I do want to let you know, Haley has a critical needs, and is managing those critical needs based on functionality of products. So big item issues, she's managing and is personally running those with our development team and some in-house field solutions team to come to a resolution very quickly, which is why there might be a firmware update pushed or a new app release pushed for teachers to update. I will tell you, as far as features go, like if there's features that people want or need, we're going to leverage the community for that. That's where they can go and voice their opinion and show, you know, why they would want such feature. And our development team is involved in the community to be able to assist with that. So Haley is on the forefront and aware of any of the firmware updates and needs that is going to occur. She and Serena have a plan. Serena is our marketing manager on how to communicate some of those updates, especially if it's a vital update. So kind of just be aware of your email. If you see something coming from ViewSonic in myViewBoard, I would highly recommend as an IT admin or an influencer in the district to please pay attention to that, because they're going to be very good about trying to communicate, but also not over communicating, right? So it's going to be a fine line. So kind of just be aware. I know you have a lot of things going on back to school time right now. So we just kind of want to make you aware that, you know, we do have some updates that we need to get some things fixed, and we're going to do it. And we appreciate your patience in that. And gladly we'll take any feedback possible in how we can make it better. So please reach out to your sales reps, search us directly. We can help you. Community walkthrough, we're going to come back to that in a second. Don't forget, we have professional development. Woo woo! I wouldn't be here without this. So if you need any training, we're here. Also, this email address, in case you run into issues or you need some videos, we can leverage this this email address here. So feel free to let us know if there's something of high demand that you need. We can help take care of you. Okay. Please be patient. We are training across America right now. And we will get back to you, I would say, maybe not in 2 minutes, but hopefully within a couple hours. Okay. At least respond back and give you some feedback. So if you need anything, let us know. We're here for you from that perspective. And then I'll go back to Q&A before we get into our community with Tara. Any questions? So yeah, the machine that's older than a 50-5 it'll work, but you won't be able to use myViewBoard 3.0. myViewBoard 2.0, the original myViewBoard, is still going to be in existence. We are going to make sure that you're able to use it. We will not add more features to that software, right? Kind of like when Apple releases new software. We're not going to add new features to the old software, but we are allowing, our goal is to maintain that. So those of you that have older panels can still use it on the hardware. myViewBoard 3.0 available as a .pkg outside of the App Store. It's actually an MSI file that you can download from our myviewboard.com website. So under myviewboard.com in downloads, you can download that MSA file and grab that. Also, in our knowledge base, there's a script. So if you need to deploy the MSI file, there is a script that we have created available to you as well. And that is going to be in our knowledge base. And Serena, thank you for continuing to throw those links in there for us. Any other questions? Yeah, the download is for Mac. Mike, I'm going to tell you right now, we don't have a deployment type package for Apple. We are working on it. I can't give you a timeline, but the only way currently for the Mac is to download the one app. Yep. And Haley, if you have more technical terms, you feel free to jump in and take over. But that's what I know.
Nope, you're nailing
All right,
it.
perfect. Love it. Thanks, Haley. All right, Tara, are we ready to go through community and show them what happens when they join, like when they first get in community, and like where they can find resources such as certifications and how to get their questions answered, and those types of things.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, depending upon where you are. My name is Tara. I am over the community, and I will walk you through. Give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. And you all are seeing my screen, yes? Okay, so this is the community. This is, of course, a USA-Canada form. What I've done in collaboration with the PD team is really try to make this a one-stop shop as it pertains to your post PD professional development, particularly if you've had someone from Blake's team out. This is going to help kind of walk you through those next steps. Or if it could be a pre-PD if you're waiting to have your professional development. What I want to show you here is we have a full webinar recording library. This is going to be able to walk you through the myViewBoard 3.0 refresh that's happening now. And it's going to also, and it goes back to looking at a good preview, which is our June one, and then going through taking in bite-sized pieces each of the refresh elements and blowing them out, giving you some applicable steps that will help you in classrooms or sharing with teachers how to get them going on day one with the refresh. So that's the pro tip series. We are gearing up for the final installation next week, but if you go through the webinar recording library, you'll be able to see each of those. I want to also take you into our PD professional development area here. In addition to providing you with the support via our webinars, the PD team is graciously offering one-on-one support. So if you feel like you need that, you can sign up here to get that support and work one-on-one with one of our PD experts. This is going to walk you through what the PD experience is about, what it entails, what's offered, as well as what it looks like as far as bringing it into your schools. So you can get kind of the framework behind it, and our certification program is here. We're going to be refreshing this area down here. This gets into this is our most popular YouTube videos. That is a part of our very extensive YouTube library that Blake already alluded to. If you're not a subscriber, I would recommend you do that right away, because you will find everything that you need as it particularly pertains to this refresh. Lots of content that we are in fact going to be adding here very soon. I want to also take you to this product form up here. In the product form, that's where you're going to find the features requests. So I'm going to go, for example, into myViewBoard 3.0 here. And you'll see all the things you need to know in reference to the refresh here. More videos, of course, latest updates. This is where you're going to find the stockpile of videos that or webinars that we've already done. They're nicely curated here for you. Some back to school stuff, latest posts, but then right here, you'll see feature requests. Okay, and you'll see they're already starting to come in. So anything that any ideas, anything you want to propose in reference to future updates, please ensure that you include them here. Those of you who've been with us for a while, you'll see that the requests that you've made in reference to this 3.0 refresh, you've been heard and seen. And so we just want you to know that we take your requests seriously, and hopefully get to add those in a future request. So just want to make sure you're familiar with this area. Again, it's in our product form, and within our product form, everything that Blake talks about today, even if you're doing 2.0, 3.0, AirSync Manager, ClassFlip, it's all here for you, including videos, and as well as our thread of discussion items. So, and to conclude, if you have just not a feature request, but just questions, know that the community does serve as another channel of support. And so feel free to drop them here. What's lovely about the community is while, yes, we've got ViewSonic folks who are constantly looking at these questions and comments, but you have a very large community that's doing the same. And so what I love to see is that other admin and teachers are chiming in and providing examples and illustrations and answering questions. So our community is thriving, and I hope you join us and get involved. Thank you, Blake. Did I miss anything?
I think it was good. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've really tried to think through the resources and provide as much as we can so that you can be set up for success, and trying to organize them a little better for you to get access. So hopefully we actually tried to take care of everything that we could think of. So if we missed something, feel free to let us know. We'll get it up there, but we hope those resources are valuable to you. So I posed a question. This is all I have. Haley or Serena, feel free to jump in if there's anything that you would want to talk about. Otherwise, what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, Haley, if you wouldn't mind doing it, let's just open up the mic if somebody wants to get on and ask a question that didn't want to throw it in the chat that needed maybe more detail. Maybe we could open up and answer questions that way.
Let's see, Blake, I think we actually have it disabled for this.
Okay, that's fine. I see Wade is saying the MSI installer for 3.0 is only the EXE. So the downloadable link is only the EXE, not the MSI installer for Windows, I'm assuming. You have any insight for that, Haley?
Yeah, it should have been added to the website. Let me go ahead and take a look and make sure that that direct link is there. If not, we do have a separate one that we can provide to you. So let me take a look. Just give me 1 second, please. Okay, I have it. Let me just see if that go ahead and leads you directly to the download. I tried to pull it. Otherwise, I'm also going to put the direct download page. You might just need to scroll down a little bit to get to the section that says MSI. I also see another question that came in from Lucas. I'll go ahead and answer that. Can you run both version 2 and version 3 on Windows devices? Yes, so the Windows one is a special use case. It's different than the Android side of your interactive panels. So you'll be able to run both versions on the same time as your device. Now, the important thing to note is that this is a separate download. So in order to access version 3 on your Windows device, you will need to deploy directly, or you'll need to also have your users download on their ends. However, you are able to have both of them, and the version 2 will keep running in the same way that the older Android versions will, meaning it will still be available for you to access and use. We will just not be making feature enhancements.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for coming today. Again, we hope that this is a seamless transition for you. And we're here if you need help. Check out the community. Let us know. Our contacts are in the community as well. The PD Team US emails there. So if you have any questions, let us know. Again, we're here to support, and we hope you have a great year. We're looking forward to connecting throughout the year in webinars in the community, as well as other outreach opportunities.